From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at Noon, streaming now.
And good afternoon, I'm Lauren Casey with Alyssa Donovan, and for Todd Clausen today. It is a holiday week. We're gearing up for Christmas, Alyssa, so we got to talk about what's going on in the forecast for our Monday.
Yeah, and you know what, I'm going to get to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in just a little bit, but I do want to start with what's going on right now, and we have some activity on the radar. We did have those light showers moving through the area earlier today, continuing to see just a few light showers scattered across Indianapolis. We'll continue to see a small chance of those in the next hour or so here, but things are pretty much starting to taper off. That's all from this quick moving clipper system. As it moves out, it's also going to take a lot of that cloud coverage with it, so we are going to see some clearing skies by this afternoon. I know it's been a very gray day, but some peaks of sunshine are possible later. We're also going to see those winds pick up. Right now they are about 25 miles per hour across the area, and as we head into the afternoon and evening, those are going to peak around 32 miles per hour. So it is going to be a breezy day, and that's just due to that system lifting out of the area. Looking ahead to the rest of the afternoon, we are going to see calmer conditions, 47 degrees for the high. Some warmer air is going to move in till midweek, and then much colder air just in time for the holiday. I'll have those details in just a few minutes.
Alyssa, thank you. Metro Police need your help with an investigation into a deadly hit and run. Investigators are looking for a driver of a black Dodge Charger made between 2011 and 2014. They believe the car was involved in a hit and run last Saturday night on the city's west side. Police say the driver of that car hit and killed a man who was walking along West Washington Street at Biltmore Avenue. The man later died from his injuries at the hospital. Officers say the car may have significant damage to the front end of the car. If you believe you've seen this vehicle, you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS. Also this midday, police are still investigating after a man with a gunshot wound was found at the scene of a crash on the east side. The crash happened last night on East New York and Oxford Streets. Police say the shooting victim was driving the car and the woman and two children were inside with him. The man was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and so far that's all the information police have made public. Well, the latest coronavirus numbers are just in from the State Department of Health. Those numbers are lower today, though they sometimes do trend downward due to a lag in reporting following a weekend. Just under 4,000 new cases were reported by the health department today. 31 additional COVID-related deaths were also reported. That pushes Indiana past 7,100 deaths since the pandemic began. The pressure on Indiana hospitals has eased up slightly as well. The total number of patients with COVID-19 being treated fell below 3,000 over the weekend. However, that number was up just slightly today. Hundreds of frontline workers continue to roll up their sleeves to get the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. We stopped by Riley Hospital's vaccine clinic to see their efforts. Riley's clinic is one of 7 in IU Health, which they're administering the vaccine here across central Indiana. On Sunday, 290 people received the first of 2 shots. Volunteers, they're giving out about 24 shots per hour to healthcare workers. Many of these frontline workers are hoping their trust of the vaccine inspires others to feel safe about receiving it.
I'm a frontline worker and I'm exposed to COVID on a daily basis, and I also think it's important for my family, and I hope that I can set a good example and show people that it's safe and that we all need to do this to get through this pandemic.
Vaccination clinics like the one at Riley Hospital are encouraging patients to sign up for a program that's called Be Safe. It's on your phone. The program tracks symptoms and reactions to the vaccine in people nationwide. More vaccines are arriving in the state of Indiana today, this time from Moderna. The company's COVID-19 vaccine is the second in the United States to receive that emergency approval from the FDA. It has some benefits over Pfizer's vaccine, including the fact it can be stored at warmer temperatures. The first doses of the vaccine rolled out of distribution centers in Mississippi on Sunday, with FedEx and UPS set to deliver them all across the country. Well, after marathon negotiations all weekend long, Congress is expected to finally vote today on a scaled-down COVID relief package. It includes stimulus checks for most Americans, though in smaller amounts than what you got from the CARES Act back in March. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze says that Democrats are already saying more aid for Americans will be needed after President-elect Joe Biden takes office.
After months of stalemate on Capitol Hill, economic relief is finally in sight for millions of Americans.
More help is on the way.
Lawmakers striking an 11th hour $900 billion COVID relief deal, tying the plan to a larger spending bill that will avoid a government shutdown. The agreement includes direct checks for qualifying Americans of up to $600, a $300 boost in weekly federal unemployment benefits through March, roughly $300 billion in aid to small businesses, and billions more for vaccine distribution and schools.
This agreement is far from perfect, but it will deliver emergency relief to a nation in the throes of a genuine emergency.
If the bill passes as expected, Americans should start receiving stimulus checks in January, while the Treasury Secretary says they could come as soon as next week. For single mom Renee DiCarlo, who was forced to close her business, help can't come soon enough.
Every dollar matters to me. The more they give me, the more ability I'll have to get my life back in order, a little bit at a time, because right now there isn't enough to support myself or my kids.
As coronavirus cases continue to climb, forcing more business closures and layoffs, some economists fear the help could be too little, too late. Democrats, who had initially demanded trillions more in aid, are calling the deal a down payment.
We consider this a first step, and that, again, more needs to be done.
President Trump is expected to sign the bill into law once it passes, and President-elect Biden applauded the deal, but said Congress's work is far from over. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
New this midday, Attorney General Bill Barr making a major break with President Trump just days before Barr's resignation takes effect. Today, Barr said that he would not appoint a special counsel to investigate fraud in this year's presidential election. He says that's because no significant voter fraud has been found in any state. Barr also says that he will not have a special prosecutor look into the business activities of the son of President-elect Joe Biden. President Trump has called for investigations of Hunter Biden's ties to businesses in the Ukraine and China. The business activity has never been formally connected to the president-elect. Well, they are working to make sure that no one goes hungry during the pandemic, but they're also fighting off COVID scares of their own. Next, how a soup kitchen is fighting the battle on both fronts. Alyssa.
And we are seeing a nice mild start to our week, a little showers this morning, and we're going to stay mild this afternoon, tomorrow, and Wednesday. But I know your main question is, are we going to have a white Christmas? We have low chances right now, but I'll tell you how that could change coming up next.
Welcome back. The holidays are a somber time if you've lost a loved one recently, but there's also those who we've lost who may not have any loved ones nearby. And so today, Christ Church Cathedral downtown held its annual Homeless Persons Memorial. This program is coordinated every year by the city's homeless advocacy group called CHIP. The service is held on the first day of winter because it's the longest night of the year, and it's designed to bring awareness to the plight of those who are still on the streets. And the pandemic, we know, has been tough in more ways than one for organizations who are working to help people in need. The Kenneth Butler Memorial Soup Kitchen out in Greenfield not only has been feeding more people for months now, they've also had to improvise on how they work to overcome COVID-19 concerns within their own building. Our own Kelsey Anderson takes a closer look.
Jill Ebert says they haven't seen a large influx in people coming to their soup kitchen, but she knows the need is out there. She says they average about 100 meals a day, and they are serving to-go meals right now, Monday through Friday from 11 to 1, and then dinner is served from 5 to 7. Because of the pandemic, the dining room is closed, something Ebert hopes changes soon.
So I'm hoping that in the next few months, maybe we can get back to that point, because I miss seeing him. We've become this little family, and we talk and we laugh and we cry, and we've just all bonded, and we don't have that anymore, and that's sad.
She knows the soup kitchen wouldn't be possible without the community. She tells me in 2019 they served more than 24,000 meals, and she only spent $800 on food.
Kelsey, thank you. Now, because of the pandemic, the Kenneth Butler Soup Kitchen is not taking in any clothing donations or taking on any new volunteers. All they can accept right now are donations of money, food, and cleaning supplies. We have more information on how you can give inside this story. Just go to the WRTV News app. Well, some have already found a great home, but there are many others in need of one. Next, we'll show you how you can find a forever friend and a last-minute holiday gift all in one. Now, let's take a live look outside right now. This is our Weather Now camera here on top of the tower downtown. Looking to the west, there's the White River and the JW Marriott off in the distance, and you can see it's kind of a yucky day out there. We're going to check in with Alyssa Donovan and get a look at our Christmas forecast. That's all coming up right here on the news at noon. Stick around. Well, several wonderful animals are now in loving homes for the holidays, but there are many more that still need a place to call home. And that's why Indianapolis Animal Care Services is continuing its Deck the Paws adoption event this week. We spoke to the kennel manager, Laura Keith, about how you can still have time to find a very special gift.
It's changed everything for us. We used to have the building open for public walkthrough. Our building has been closed for public walkthrough for dogs since March. We quickly moved to an appointment-only outside adoption process where you meet the dogs outside instead of coming into the building. And we've limited the number of people who are allowed in our cat rooms at a time. With all the changes that have happened in our lives this year, the need for animal companionship has not changed. Animals provide comfort, they can provide therapy, they can be a bright spot in your day when everything else just seems to be horrible. I think now more than ever, people need the consistency of pet ownership and pet companionship. We still have animals coming to the shelter every day. Our appointments for surrender are booked out for the next several weeks. We are constantly trying to keep animals in their homes so they don't have to come here. We really work tirelessly to keep animals out of the shelter that can stay out of the shelter and to help animals get adopted that do need to come into our care. And so they really need us as much as they ever have, if not more. The event is going on really throughout the week until we're closed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but we'd like to get as many animals out as we can before that.
Well, once again, Animal Care Services still has open appointment slots through this Wednesday. They'll be closed for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. All their contact information is on your screen right now. IACS is also offering curbside adoptions and meet and greets for dogs that are taking place outside. So if you're going to head over there, maybe meet a dog or two, you'll want to grab your coat because it's kind of yucky out there today, Alyssa. It's not too cold, but it's not the best day.
No, it's just a kind of gloomy December day. You can see on our Weather Now cam behind me that we have these low-level clouds. It's just a gray day outside. Temperatures right now in the low 40s. We do have some light showers moving across Indianapolis. Feels a little bit more like the 30s, though, and that's due to those winds. Right now, they're out of the southwest. Sustained winds about 16 miles per hour, and we are seeing those gusts close to 20 miles per hour. And as we head into the afternoon, we're going to continue to see those gusts come up to about 30 miles per hour later today. We are going to see a little bit of a break in those clouds as well. We should see maybe a peak of sunshine this afternoon, but right now we are stocked in with that cloud coverage. All of that is from that Clipper system that's continuing to push off to the east. It's moving very quickly, so we should see a break in those clouds as we head into the afternoon. Behind this, high pressure is going to be in control, but right now we do have just a few of those lingering showers right across Indianapolis and really along I-65 and down into Greensburg. Again, not a ton of rain with this system, just some light showers. As we head into the afternoon, there's that break. We should see about 3-4 o'clock. That's when we'll start to see a little bit of sunshine, but those clouds come right back into the area as we head overnight and into the start of our Tuesday. Now, looking ahead to Wednesday, that's when we have some more changes on the way. We're going to continue this warm up as we head through the week. 50s on Wednesday, which means we'll start with those rain showers, and then we will transition to snow showers by Thursday morning. Looks like we'll see a rain-snow mix in there, so really it depends on the timing of this and the temperatures at that time that precipitation falls on if we're going to see any of that snow really stick to the ground. We might just see a dusting. We could see maybe a little bit of accumulation. So that's what I'm talking about. We could see a white Christmas. Kind of depends on how much snowfall we get on Thursday, because we're not expecting snowfall for Christmas Day. Here's a look at our Christmas forecast. Christmas Eve, 37 degrees. Those snow showers likely in the morning, and then we are going to see those temperatures really fall throughout the day because that's when that cold front passes. 24 degrees on Christmas Day, but the temperatures are going to start very cold in the morning. We're going to be in the teens across the area, so a very chilly holiday forecast ahead. Today, 47 for the high, partly cloudy skies. Again, those breaks are coming this afternoon. Partly cloudy on Tuesday as well, staying in the 40s. Then we climb up into the low 50s. Those afternoon showers on Wednesday, sticking with us overnight into Thursday morning. And that's when we'll see that chance of some snow showers mixing in there for Thursday morning, your Christmas Eve forecast. Temperatures that afternoon only into the 30s, dropping quite a bit Christmas Day, 24 degrees for our high.
All right, so there's a chance to see a few flurries out there on Christmas, Alyssa. Thank you. Well, the COVID-19 vaccine is slowly rolling out, but until it becomes widely available, it's still important for all of us to mask up and continue social distancing. With people potentially gathering again for the holidays this week, we wanted to know how often you mask up around different groups of people. Stephanie Sandoval has the results of a recent survey taken by our partners at Newsy.
It's something he didn't see coming.
Thought I had the flu. Until I got tested and obviously came back positive.
Testing positive for coronavirus.
I had a really dry cough, which scared me just because it was getting tougher to cough and breathe.
He started noticing symptoms about a week after he had people over for Thanksgiving.
You guys had people over, but you obviously had people get tested before they came over to your house. Were there any other measures that you guys took?
No, I mean, it's the typical when you see family, you pretend like you're not going to hug. You're like, should we hug? And then obviously we ended up hugging, and everyone just hangs out like normal once people are actually over.
Newsy teamed up with Ipsos and asked people how often they wear a mask around the different groups of people. The results, the closer the connection between people, the less likely it is they'll be wearing a mask. Respondents were much more likely to wear one around people in their community than those in their household and immediate family.
As soon as you're around friends and family, people forget about masks straight away, I feel like.
For the first time, the CDC recommended in a report last week universal face mask use, which means wearing a mask indoors when not at home. Research suggests about 50% of transmission comes from people who are asymptomatic or showing no symptoms. Dan Ariely, a psychologist and behavioral economics professor at Duke University, says this is what people should do when it comes to others not following public health recommendations.
We need people to say to each other, thank you for wearing a mask, and we need people to say to each other, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable, would you mind putting a mask on? It has to be friendly enforcement of everything we do about the act of not wearing a mask and not about the fear of catching it.
Balfour can't know for sure he got COVID from the Thanksgiving gathering, but now his wife is showing symptoms as well. Still, taking precautions around those we're close to can be tough.
People forget about the masks and just trust each other, which obviously we don't know where each other have been the whole week, what supermarkets and so on. So I don't think it would ever happen. I think it's tough to enforce.
Stephanie Sandoval, Newsy.
Well, today is officially the first day of winter, and we know a very popular good boy who is ready for it. We're going to show you that. Plus, we're going to check if your Christmas week forecast one more time with Alyssa coming up next. You're watching the news at noon right here on WRTV. So today, of course, is the first day of winter, and look who's ready for it. Butler Bulldog mascot Blue here, posting these pictures to Twitter today, even though they were taken a few days back and we saw that first snow of the season. He says, quote, these rolls were made for rolling around in the snow. Sometimes I feel like that, Alyssa.
I know,
That's so cute, though.
I think we're going to feel like that after
Christmas, yeah.
Doesn't look like we are going to see, well, I guess I've said, a small chance of a white Christmas at this point, but likely it would just be a little snow on the ground from the day before. If anything, we'll see a few light flurries on Christmas Day. Besides that, though, the main thing about Christmas is just how cold it's going to be, starting in the teens, only in the 20s, and then today, we're in the 40s, so we're going to see a big temperature swing over the next 5 days. Then into the weekend, we're in the 30s.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much, and thanks for making WRTV your choice for news. Have a good one.